My computer, it's got share screen and I don't know how to get it off, sorry.
Okay.
On the bottom line, there's in the middle, there's a button which is share screen. You might have clicked that.
You would just press it, like, sorry about this.
Click it again, see what happens.
Not going off.
Are you still able to hear everyone though, Councillor Preston?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry about this.
Right, just to confirm we're now live and the meeting can commence.
So, shall we make a start then? So, welcome to everyone to this meeting of the Policy and Resources Committee for Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority. So, I want to explain how the meeting is going to work. During the meeting, all microphones and cameras will be switched off, with the exception of myself and any presenting officers other than as directed by the meeting facilitator. Should anyone leave the meeting for any reason, then we'll continue unless the meeting is no longer quorate. Please ensure that any items relating to personal, private, confidential or exempt information are not visible through your camera or screen sharing, and be very careful with the screen sharing because I've seen a few crackers lately. Until any press or public have been excluded from the meeting. Please be advised that all these proceedings will be recorded and are going to be broadcast live for members of the public to see. Please ensure that when you're not speaking, your microphone remains on mute and your camera is switched off. If you have any questions or comments or you wish to speak at any point, then please turn your camera on and raise your hand, or alternatively indicate via the chat function. The meeting facilitator will then unmute your microphone and invite you to speak at the appropriate time. You should then click to confirm that you wish to unmute your microphone and then state your question or your comment. Don't try to unmute yourself. The meeting facilitator will do this for you. There'll be a slight delay and then you'll be prompted to allow yourself to be unmuted. Please select the blue button that says unmute now to do so. When I ask you all to approve or note an item, I'll ask you to turn your camera on and the meeting facilitator will then unmute everyone. If you have any issues with this, then this will be your opportunity to raise them and silence will be taken as approval. So I can confirm that the following members are in attendance and that all members present can hear and be heard. We've got myself, Councillor Lisa Preston, Les Byrom, Jean Stapleton, Dan Barrington, Angela Coleman, Steff O'Keefe, Andrew Makinson, and Lesley Rennie. So we can now proceed to the agenda. So preliminary matters. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Just the Chief Fire Officer.
So we've got the deputy in attendance instead.
Yes.
Okay. Any declarations of interest? Nope. Okay. Matters of urgency. I understand that there are no matters of urgency to be admitted onto the agenda. And exempt items, there are no items on today's agenda that require the exclusion of the press or public. Okay, so moving on to item 2 then, we've got the minutes of the previous meeting. So could members now turn on their cameras by clicking the start video button in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. The meeting facilitator will unmute everyone to provide you with an opportunity to raise any issues with regards to the minutes. If you wish to raise anything, please click to confirm that you want your microphone to be unmuted and state your comment. If there are no issues raised, then we'll take the minutes as approved. Does anyone like to raise any issues with the minutes? Okay, Councillor Preston.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think we can hear you. Go on, try again.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Are you happy with the minutes?
Chair, what it is, on page 15 at the last meeting, I commented that St Helens didn't have a community partnership but as of this week, we've now got a community partnership which sits with the People's Board. So that's a real significant for us. So just to let you know about that, Chair, that's all I wanted to raise. Thank you.
No, that's brilliant. That sounds like there's been some real progress then.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any issues that they want to raise with the minutes? No. So can we take those as approved? Okay. If you can all turn your cameras off again then. Thank you. Okay. So moving on then, we're moving on to item 3, which is a petition. So this is a petition which has been submitted by Mr. Brace regarding changes to Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority's ways of working. So the meeting facilitator will admit Mr. Brace, and in order for him to present his presentation and his petition. Can we confirm that he's been admitted?
Yes, he's been admitted. I'll just unmute him now.
Excellent. So Mr. Brace, you've got up to 5 minutes to present your petition as per Standing Order 11.4 within Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority's constitution. So once you've presented your petition, members will have up to an additional 5 minutes to ask any questions they may have. Questions are to be stated and answered without discussion. So members are requested to utilise the chat function if they want to submit any questions they may have in relation to the petition. So Mr. Brace, you can present your petition now.
Mr. Brace, can you hear everyone?
This is Leonora speaking. I am reading these remarks written by Mr. John Brace in support of his petition titled Ways of Working. 6 people, as of the 29th of July 2020, have signed an electronic petition started by Mr. John Brace titled Ways of Working, which calls on Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority to change and do the following 3 different things. 1. When an individual is owed money by Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority as a result of a judicial decision in a legal case where Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority is a party for Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority to pay such awards promptly within a maximum of a month, without the need for further court enforcement action against Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority before payment is made. 2. For Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority to specifically state in its constitution which post has dedicated decisions-making authority to authorise the payment of payments resulting from 1 up to a specified amount. It is suggested up to 250,000. And 3. If Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority change their solicitor for a judicial case, tribunal and court in which Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority are a party, for Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority to inform the court or tribunal and other parties prompt of that change to prevent delays. The petitioners call upon Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority's Policy and Resources Committee to look into matters making these 3 changes as its terms of reference includes determine new policies or substantive changes in policy relating to the development and delivery of services appropriate to this committee. Mr. John Brace has been a party in 4 different cases, 1 first higher tribunal, 2 upper tribunal and 1 county court over the last 4 years and 5 months. Cases where Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority have been another party. In his opinion, unfortunately, delays have been caused to the timely result of cases resulting from insufficient staff when taking into account the existing case load at Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority. These delays then add to costs incurred by MFRA as matters are not dealt with at an early stage. To Mr. Brace's knowledge, there is one overworking full-time solicitor, Rhea Groves, who is directly employed by Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority, plus administration staff supporting her. This is in no way meant as criticism of Rhea Groves, who is doing the best she can in difficult circumstances. However, the workload in this area exceeds that of the time of one full-time solicitor for compassion. There used to be 2 full-time solicitors directly employed as MFRA counsellors who have been long serving on the authority will know there have been major reductions to Green Book staff directly employed over the past 6 years, which has greatly diminished MFRA's capabilities. The rationale for this has been to protect further line services such as firefighters, but the reductions to back office staff have gone too far and are impeding operative efficiency. This leads to more mistakes, human error, and problems with checks and balances. One of the overriding objections of both the tribunals and the courts in dealing with cases in a fair and just way is avoiding delay. Delays caused by Merseyside and Rescue Authority unfortunately add unnecessary to its own legal costs and that of other parties. Mr. John Brace, as lead petitioner, on behalf of the petitioners, calls on Merseyside Fire and Rescue Authority Policy and Resources Committee to make the 3 simple changes requested by this petition to improve matters. Thank you for your time this afternoon. Listen to what this petition is about and the reasons for it. Have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for presenting your petition. Do any members of the committee have any questions that they'd like to ask or comments they'd like to make?
None have been indicated, Chair.
Okay, well in that case, thank you for presenting your petition. We note it. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. We move on to item 4. We've got the revenue and capital outturn for 2019-20. Is this Ian, is it?
Yes, Chair. This report provides members with a summary of the budget and actual outturn position in relation to the approved 2019-20 revenue, capital and reserve budgets. Paragraphs 4 to 8 on page 22 provide members with some background information on the 2019-20 budget plan and budget assumptions. These key assumptions remained robust throughout the year. Changes to the original budget and medium-term financial plan were monitored closely throughout the year, and members received quarterly financial review updates, with the last report, CFO 0420, covering the period up to the end of December 2019. Pages 22 to 24 provide members with an update on the budget adjustments in the last quarter of 2019-20 and a summary of the budget movements for the year. In summary, the plan and key budget assumptions remained robust throughout the year. The revenue budget stood at 60.282 million throughout the year. The original 17.7 million capital budget was adjusted throughout the year, mainly to reflect the rephasing of schemes from 2018-19 into 2019-20 and the rephasing of schemes from 2019-20 into future years. And members approved an increase in the general reserve from 2 million to 3 million during the year, with 23 million pounds of committed reserves at the start of the year. The revenue outturn position was 58.131 million, a 2.151 million net underspend, and is summarised in the table on page 25. After taking account of year-end reserves requests of £650,000, the underspend was £1.5 million. Members approved a strategy at the 2019-20 Budget Authority of utilising any savings to fund an increase in debt payments, the minimum revenue provision, MRP, in order to free up future years' budgets to potentially increase spend on frontline services. Therefore, an additional £1.5 million MRP payment has been made, leaving the overall revenue position consistent with the approved budget. Paragraph 15 on page 25 to 27 provides members with an explanation on the major revenue variances for 2019-20, and Appendix A paragraph 16 to 18 on pages 27 to 28 summarise the committed reserves opening and closing position. Committed reserves reduced by 4.297 million in the year, mainly due to a call down on the capital reserve to fund the new St Helens station build. Paragraph 19 to 21 on pages 28 to 30 outline the capital outturn position. And as per the table on the top of page 29, 3.762 million of planned 2019-20 spend has now been rephased into 2020-21. And the table on pages 29-30 provides an explanation for the rephasing. Appendix B provides a detailed analysis of the capital outturn position. Members are asked to note the report and the use of 1.5 million identified revenue underspend to increase the 2019-20 MRP actual. I'm happy to take any questions on the report, Chair.
Councillor Byrom's indicated that he'd like to speak.
Yeah, I don't know. Where are we? Yeah, start video. There we go. It's just, thank you very much for that. I mean, this is the in-year position. The most unusual year. We're aware of that. We are, I think I make the comment, very grateful for all our staff, all that they've done, both out on, the fire stations, but very much so our headquarters staff and workshop staff who have been working remotely, doing their best in these very difficult circumstances. And we thank them for all that they've done. There will be some implications of in-year government grant. Don't need to go into that now, other than to say to members, we are, through the LGA, the Fire Services Management Committee, lobbying under the Comprehensive Spending Review to look at the share of the money that we get as a fire service sector, some of the other sort of things that we do that obviously the new world has thrown up as, must-dos rather than could-dos for the fire service. So, Ian, thank you for all that you and your staff have done to keep us solvent. Thank you, Ria and Kelly and all the people in headquarters. Thank you to members as well for your forbearance with what's been going on. But it seems that we've, if nothing else, weathered the financial storm so far. There's some big issues on the horizon for us, building safety and so forth. But it sounds like, from the finance point of view, we're okay so far, subject to the renegotiations that will happen. Thank you.